I'm not sure. It's not a guaranteed thing. Maybe like 50-50. I obviously love competing, but if they're like, I'm not really expecting teams to want to change up their roster like halfway through the split. That's the big one.
It's the end of the first day of the 5th week of NALCS. I'm joined right now by Meteos, who just got off the analyst desk, talk a little bit how things are going with coverage presented by OmniSlash. So Meteos, first off, how was the analyst desk today?
It was amazing. I was undefeated in 5 matches today.
In predictions?
No, I just never lost a single game all day.
Yes. You also didn't win a single game.
Why you got to be like that?
I guess you look at the positive side of things. How have things been for you these past couple of weeks? Because for Meteos fans, they've been interesting. I have to imagine even weirder for you.
I think weird's definitely a good way to describe it. Yeah, like, there was the whole 100 Thieves situation where I made my video kind of going into somewhat detail about like what went on. Basically, like, I guess there was some like weird miscommunications on 100 Thieves, and I ended up here on FlyQuest Academy. But it's honestly been pretty fun. Like, it hasn't bothered me that much. I still have a lot of confidence in myself as a player, and you know, I've been fairly successful in the past, and I try pretty hard to be a good teammate. So I think that, you know, whatever new home I land in should go pretty well. So haven't really been too down about it. FlyQuest has been pretty chill. Like, I've got to hang out with their main team and practice with the academy team, and it's kind of been a chance for me to like really test how much I know by teaching it to people that haven't really been exposed to these things. And so if it's like, you know, this is how we do Baron control, that every LCS team might know this, but when you're with the academy teams, they're like, why would we do that? And then you know, you have to like make sure you really understand it so that you can explain it. And it has helped me like learn more too. So it's been a fairly positive experience, even if it like wasn't really what I was expecting to do.
Yeah, you're almost like a in-game coach, it sounds like, where you're like leveling up and coaching these guys while also playing with them.
There's definitely a little bit of that. I'm trying to not be too like controlling of what everyone else is doing, because, you know, if someone came in when I was first starting and just tried to tell me like every single thing to do, I don't know if it'd really be that helpful. So I'm trying to, you know, like be a guiding hand. After game, I'll talk about things, go through situations with the players to be like, hey, remember this situation? Let's look at it again. I'll talk through them with, be like, hey, do you remember like what you were going for, like what your plan was here? They'll say, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to ever be like, oh, you're wrong, like you played this so bad, but I'll be like, hey, maybe if you think about this, you would see other options for how to play this situation. And they'll be like, okay, yeah, I never considered that. And so there's a lot of that going on. It's pretty rewarding, like seeing the team get better and stuff like that. So it's been a little bit of like coaching and just trying to help them out.
Yeah. One of the conversations I had earlier, I was talking to Contracts, and he was saying he thinks that you are still a top 3 NALCS jungler, and he hopes to see you return. What are the chances that we see you play again on the LCS stage this year, do you think?
This year, I think there's definitely a chance for it to happen. Like, having some talks, obviously, like, nothing's finalized, nothing to go into. So I'm not sure. It's not a guaranteed thing. Maybe like 50-50. I obviously love competing, but if they're like, I'm not really expecting teams to want to change up their roster like halfway through the split. That's the big one. So it definitely would be a risk with like Worlds on the line and the standings being so close. Just want to like shake things up, because most teams, you know, they've kind of got a direction that they're headed. So if there's a place that needs a jungler, I'm happy to like help out. If all the teams are happy with what they're doing, then that's cool. I can either like help out the academy until they find a new permanent replacement, and then I'm probably just going to transition more into like streaming. And I've really wanted to go into making more like video content on the analytical side of things, because I think that I don't know if there's a huge demand for it, but I really love the high level aspects of League, and those don't always get talked about too much. I think that there's not a lot of information out there about it. So stuff like macro, vision control, just like plays based on information, trying to figure out like why people did what they did, like what they were going for, are things that I probably have a lot more experience with than most people, and I can share that ideally. So definitely something that I want to do and move in that direction. So it's either going to be like playing LCS or making League content, but I still love the game, still going to look to do something in the scene.
What is there a consideration for you? Because you took off a lot, you pseudo took off last year. Is there a consideration for you of just stop, like not competing anymore? Like in a world where there's just not a spot for you to play, are you like, how enthusiastic are you about coming back next year and really trying to play LCS versus going into this kind of streaming career and being more of a content creator?
Well, lately I have been thinking that I've kind of put my personal branding on the back burner for most times. Like, pretty much throughout my career, I've just sort of had the mindset that, like, if I look out for the people around me, like, hopefully they do the same thing and things will just work themselves out. So I've kind of just, like, put a lot of emphasis on trying to, like, be good at League, be good at competing. And so I have noticed that, like, I don't really have a YouTube channel. A lot of my social media is kind of, like, quieter than it could be. So I think that that's something I can put more focus on, just like the media side of things. Like, hopefully I can keep doing this after League, like after whatever comes next, if there's demand for it, of course. Like, so I think that's something that I'm focusing on. And as far as if I'm going to compete, I've always loved competing. Like, figuring out the game on that level, working with people is something that's like really fulfilling for me. So if there's a spot, I'm definitely going to look for it. But I do think there's other options that I'm happy with as well. So I think that no matter what comes next, it's probably going to be a good thing. And just looking forward to it.
It's nice to have options and have them be good options, which is what it sounds like your situation is. Is there anything you would say to the Meteos fans out there who are hoping to see you come back or looking forward to maybe more streaming content or whatever?
Yeah, so to the fans, I know I've been kind of like MIA since the trade. I've just been at the FlyQuest Academy house, and their internet and like PC setup doesn't really support streaming, so I haven't been able to stream. But I'm really eager to get back into it. As soon as things kind of like slow down, I'm gonna get back to that. And I just want to say thanks to everyone who's like stuck with me through the roster swaps, the trades, whatever. It means a lot, and I'm gonna keep working hard to like bring content through either like competing in LCS or making videos, and hope to see you guys then.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Meteos, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. I want to thank OmniSlash so much for the support of my content. They are on a train right now, a train that you could be on, and that's the Travis train. Just get on that train, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit up my Twitch. We're stopping at all the different stops, all right? This is a train, and it's going far. So get on the train and ride it. Ride that Travis train.